What's up you guys, I'm Dan, this is Frugal Not Cheap. Today we're going to do a deep dive into X money. For those of you that don't know, X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, it's been a long held vision of Elon Musk to have basically this everything app. So that's the vision for X, and one of the main features that he'd want to have in the Everything app is of course going to be peer-to-peer money transfers and general banking. So in this video we're going to look a little bit about the history of this, look at what features are being offered, some quick little highlights. So we've got a 6% APY if you qualify in a certain way, also early direct deposit, and up to $10 million in FDIC insurance. And of course we're going to see whether or not this platform makes sense, and I'll give you my final thoughts about it. So here we go. Let's take a look at X money. Hey guys, so the story really begins quite some time ago in March of 1999 when Elon Musk sold Zip2 to Compaq. This was kind of his first venture. He was working on it with Kimball in this little rented office space, but they were able to sell it for $307 million. And Elon Musk's share as a 7% shareholder was $22 million. Using $12 million of that, he, along with some co-founders, started X.com. The idea here was to really bring banking into, the modern age. It'd be fully online. You'd have checking, savings, investments, insurance, all kinds of stuff. And it would be all available at X.com. There's a lot more to the story, but eventually he ended up being put in touch with some people at Coinfinity, which was kind of a competitor. They originally wanted to do like infrared money transfers using Palm Pilots. But anyway, in March of 2000, they merged together. Elon was the largest shareholder and the CEO of the company, but there was a lot of internal strife, and they didn't really like the X name because it made people think of like adult sites. So late that year in 2000, there was actually a boardroom coup, and Musk was ousted as the CEO while he was on his honeymoon. Peter Thiel took over, and the following year in 2001, the company was fully rebranded as PayPal and then later sold to eBay. The focus of PayPal was a lot narrower than Elon Musk would have liked. But anyway, it was sold in 2002 for $1.5 billion. That gave Elon Musk between $175 and $180 million, of which of course he used a large chunk in order to fund both SpaceX and Tesla. Fast forwarding now to October of 2022, Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion and started the rebrand and talking about turning Twitter into the Everything app, his original idea really for X.com, but maybe expanded even more. In any case, X has now secured money transfer licenses in 47 states, as well as the District of Columbia, partnered with Visa in early 2025, and then partnered with Cross River Bank to do all of the banking stuff. Early this year in 2026, there were internal testing and betas, but just a couple of months ago, June 26th, X Money started rolling out to Premium Plus users. So if you're not familiar with X or Twitter, X now, the Premium Plus tier is the highest, and you've got a Premium tier, and then of course you have like the free tier that most people are on. So initially it was just select Premium Plus users, but late July the 27th, it started expanding more to Premium and Premium Plus users, again on an invite-only basis. So as of right now, this isn't widely available. This is only available to some selected Premium and Premium Plus users, but it is rolling out. So we've really come back to something that Elon's been trying to work on for 26 years now, is to really make X.com or X the Everything app and get all these banking features put together. Now again, it is only available in 47 states. So the states where it is not available are Massachusetts, Montana, and Wisconsin. They did get a license in New York, right before kind of the rollout began. Very, very important. But if you are in one of those three states, then it's not going to be available just yet. Okay, so what do you get? Well, I guess the headline feature, and we're going to dive deeper into this in a little bit later, is going to be that you can get a 6% APY on your deposits without a limit. But that 6% is only available for Premium Plus users, and then also Premium users that have a direct deposit of at least $1,000 in a trailing 34-day period, and that can be either like a paycheck or it could be a creator payout as well. So if you're already getting payouts from X, then this is going to be kind of a no-brainer way to get a 6% APY. Otherwise, you're going to get a 4% APY, so that's still pretty solid. But of course, that's only for premium users. That's not for the free tier. So that's kind of the big headline, is you can earn quite a bit of interest. And of course, this is likely to be a bit of a a customer acquisition tool. It's unlikely that it's going to stay this high for the long run, but they could keep it up for a while, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. For now, let's look at some of the other features. So you get a metal Visa debit card. And this card can be used, is very, very good for travel because there are no foreign transaction fees, and also ATM fees are reimbursed worldwide within just a few business days. On top of all that, you get 3% back on eligible purchases, and eligibility is pretty wide. It's sort of like cash-like stuff is not eligible, of course. That makes sense because you're just kind of like generating false spending. But for actual spend, you get 3% back, which is pretty strong as well. You also get free domestic wires, and of course, there are instant free peer-to-peer transfers from one X handle to another X handle. So that's a really cool feature, and of course, one of the the big things that Cross River Bank is good at is helping to facilitate these sort of instant transfers. For those of you that use these, there is support for Apple Pay and Google Pay, so that could be very important for some of you out there. In terms of security, there is passkey security. You can also set custom limits on different things, and there is 24/7 chat support. One of the big worries to some people is, hey, what if my X account gets shut down? What happens to my X Money account? And as long as you haven't violated any of the really, really bad stuff, even though the X account may be suspended, you will still have access to X Money. If you do violate the really bad stuff on X, then what they'll do is they'll just mail you a check. So yeah. And then lastly, I want to touch on that FDIC insurance. It's up to $10 million using kind of partner banks. But the basic thing, of course, is $250,000 FDIC insured at Cross River Bank. And then you get automatically enrolled in the SWEEP program that would then kind of, allocate funds elsewhere amongst other partner institutions. Okay, so all this sounds really, really good. And in fact, once I get the invite, I haven't gotten the invite yet, I'm likely to use it just to get that 3% back on the card, but that 3% cash back is pretty strong because the most that I'm getting on most of my spend, anything outside of dining, entertainment, groceries, and streaming, where I use the CapitalOne Saver One, part of the CapitalOne Duo, I get 2% back on everything else with my CapitalOne Venture X, so bumping that up to 3% could be pretty sweet. All right, so again, this all sounds pretty awesome, but kind of what's the catch? And the catch is, of course, that this is only great for existing Premium or Premium Plus users. And if you're not an existing Premium or Premium Plus user, then you do want to do the math on whether or not it's worth it after the cost of the subscription. So X Premium is currently $8 a month. There is a discount if you pay annually, that's $84 a year. Premium Plus is significantly more expensive, that's $40 a month, and annually it's $395. So doing the math, let's say you had $10,000 parked at X Money. If you just did the Premium tier, which gives you 4%, you'd earn $400 in interest. But after that $84 annual fee, you're left with $316, which means your net APY is actually just 3.16%. This will of course go up, more and more as your balance gets higher, but I don't know, like not everyone wants to have a huge emergency fund, right? But I did the math for you, and the break-even point is at $2,100. That's where that 4% APY is going to cover that subscription cost. If you've got Premium Plus, you do earn that 6%. So of course that's going to give you $600 in interest, but net of that hefty $395 annual fee, you're only going to have a return of $205 a year for a 2.05% APY. So that's really not very good, but some of you may have already figured out that really the sweet spot here is going to have Premium with direct deposit. So you have only that $84 subscription, but you're still able to get that 6% back. So if we do that, $600 less that $84 fee is $516 in interest a year, giving us a 5.16% APY on our $10,000 deposit. Break even here comes all the way down to just $1,400. So this is all looking pretty good, but we always have to remember opportunity cost. So what other opportunities out there? Well, there is just basically the money market. So personally, I just buy the ETF SGOV. But you could also look at, like over at Fidelity, their basic money market fund is SPAXX. It's like you can automatically enroll in that. The current 7-day yield on that is 3.32%, and that's after the 0.42% expense ratio. That means you can earn $332 a year on $10,000 just in this cash sweep program, and that already beats out having the Premium Plus, of course, where you only earn $205, but also when you just have Premium without direct deposit, where you only earn $316. Of course, you do get the benefit of having Premium Plus and premiums. So if that's worth it to you, then the calculations are different. Of course, as our balances get higher, then these subscriptions become a smaller relative share, and so our net APY can start to rise. So where is our break-even point? So I've calculated that out as well against having SPACs. For premium, that break-even is pretty high. That's $12,353. If we've got premium with direct deposit, again, this is the best case scenario, so break-even happens very quickly at $3,134. If we're doing Premium Plus, we don't break even until we have $14,739. So basically what I'm saying is that unless we really want to have Premium or Premium Plus or have those already, then it could make more sense just to put the money in the money market or in a high yield savings account if you're earning something like that. But that if you do want to go the X money route, then really the best sort of payout structure happens if you have Premium with direct deposit. Now I should note a couple of other cons as well. This 6% rate could well be a teaser rate and it may not last forever. Of course, we don't know what the Fed's going to do as well with interest rates. And there's also been a little bit of regulatory heat, you might say, from Elizabeth Warren and previous action on Cross River Bank as well. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And again, of course, the biggest con right now is that it is not yet widely available. However, I do think that this does represent a pretty strong offering here at the start out, which is the culmination of 27 years of Elon Musk's vision for the platform. And I'm really excited to see how this goes moving forward, what kind of new features are going to be added, and whether or not this is really going to catch on and turn X really into the everything app. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.